Hello, and welcome to the Live Past Crazy Show. Your host is Yanmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with her? Yanmitra appreciates you taking the time out to listen to the podcast, and it is her sincere hope that what we share is something that you can use to help you and someone you know live past crazy.
Morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. We're having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yanmitra Jojo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. What better place to be than here with me? Hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys watched the show Friday. Friday's show was amazing. It was all about JoJo. JoJo, you can't have it both ways. And when I tell you, that was a good, I went back and watched it. You can't have it both ways. You can't have abundance and practice lack. You just can't do it. So if you missed Friday's show, please make sure you go back and watch it so that you can tell me what you think about it. It was a good show. It was a good show. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. And if they do not have YouTube, we have the podcast, which is the the Live Past Crazy show, so they can catch it there. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Leah. Good morning, Cree. So they can catch it there. And then we do have 5 books. And I'm on other people's podcasts, y'all. I was in Bangkok. I did a podcast in Bangkok. How crazy is that? So I will be showing you guys a list of podcasts, other people's podcasts that I've been on that you can listen to as well as mine. So please make sure you share the show because I cannot do this without you. I'm trying to see, is this quality better than because I'm using another service. I'm using StreamYard. So I'm trying to see if this quality is better, but I can't tell over here. It looks like my other one may be better, but y'all let me know. Either way, if you missed Friday's show, please go back and watch. We had a good time Friday. I got my whole life on Friday. I dreamed about it all weekend. I thought about it. And so this morning, coming off Friday, where I talked about I can't have it both ways. So this morning, when the alarm went off at 5 o'clock, I was thinking, okay, JoJo, you can't have it both ways. And you know, that old JoJo was like, girl, sleep 5 more minutes. But the JoJo who just said you can't have it both ways, told her to go sit down, and she got right up, honey. We accomplished some things bright and early, honey. Bed made, blinds open, windows open. 5:30, we was about the business. We was doing things. And you can't, and my quote Friday was, you can't have abundance and practice lack. And that's what I was telling myself. I can't have it both ways. And I can't say I want abundance and I want these things, and my actions are always for less than. So your values, and your dreams and your values have to align. And so that is what we're working on. So welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. If this is your first time joining, welcome. If you've been an OG with me for a while, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and listening. And I know that the show has grown so much over the years, and I am thankful we are 3 years strong. Who knew? But A to the man, right? So the fearless quote of the day, y'all. It's mine. Listen, sometimes I have difficulty narrowing quotes down. So here's one today. Quote of the day: quotes never work unless you work them. By JoJo. Quotes never work unless you work them. And that is by JoJo. I don't care how many quotes I have in this house. It doesn't matter what I read, what I see. If I'm not applying it, it's not going to work at all. So the Phyllis thought of the day, Phyllis quote of the day: quotes never work unless you work them. And that is by JoJo Waddell. Period. And I think that we can all agree that if we can easily become information hoarders, right? We can hoard all the information, all the quotes, all the things, but until we implement it, it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. It's not going to work for us if we don't implement it. So quotes never work unless you work them. The Phyllis thought of the day is: transformation takes place in 3 places, or 3 things you need for transformation. However you want to word it, there's 3 things you need in order for transformation to take place. And I thought about this because when I was on Friday, when we was talking about I can't have it both ways, and you got to have things in order, where there's got to be, we talked about the revolution has got to take place, but there's got to be a transformation somewhere. And so these are the 3 places you're gonna have a transformation. Yep, they super easy and simple, but sometimes we need somebody to tell us they're super easy and simple, because we're making it way too hard. So transformation must take place in 3 places. Number 1 is, let's go with the hardest of the 3 easy ones: your mouth. Transformation must take place with your mouth first. If your mouth is not willing to participate in your transformation, you're going to have a hard time with this journey. Maybe your mouth should have been the last one, because the first one is really your mind. Transformation, no, because your mouth is the hardest of the 3. Yeah, controlling your mouth. A lot of people say, honey, if my mouth, if I could get that under control, then I would be A-okay. Your dreams and your value system have to align, so your mouth got to be the first thing that's transformed. That's the hardest. I suggest you start there. The other place transformation has got to take place is in your mind. And the second one is in your attitude. So transformation got to take place in your mouth, your mind, and your attitude. If transformation is not taking place in those places, nothing else is going to follow you. Like, it's just not going to happen. So in your mind, the transformation has to take place with you putting in more thoughts than what you have right now. Like, the thoughts that you have right now cannot be the only ones that you have, because the thoughts that you're thinking right now are not serving. They're not serving you and where you want to go, what you want to do, and what you want to accomplish. So the first place the transformation has to take place is your mind. What does that look like? That looks like you, and we all talk to ourselves if we're honest. It looks like you talking to yourself to tell you, this is the new journey. This is our new way of doing things. And when you're on this journey, that's why I said, what was that, Thursday? We talked that was Wednesday. The 3 things that will go wrong on this journey: you will be confused, you will be mad at yourself, and you will not understand the fullness of your journey. And that you cannot, when you are doing step 1 of your transformation, which is your mind, you cannot go argue with people who are proficient at being negative and try to convince them of something else, because they are proficient at having less and having lack. They are professionals, and you will lose that battle every single time. So you got to transform your mind. You got to master your mind, your mindset, and your mouth first before you can begin to articulate it to someone who is a master at being negative. So if they're a master at being negative and not thinking a certain way, you're going to lose when you come up against them. When you begin your journey, you're going to lose, because you're not able to fully articulate it yourself. So you may be gung-ho for your transformation and wanting to share that, but you got to be careful who you share it with, because if you're sharing it with someone who is proficient at being negative, they're going to convince you that you can't do anything. They're going to convince you that your journey is wrong. They're going to convince you this is not the right time for you to step out to do anything. They don't believe in you because they never believed in themselves. So the transformation sometimes has to be silent. It has to be quiet. It has to take place in your mind first. And when it takes place in your mind first, and you get used to hearing new words that you've never heard before, then that's when a revolution really starts to happen. And the transformation has got to take place in your mind first. The second place is in your attitude. And I say your attitude because once you have it in your mind, your attitude about life and things, relationships, people, places, and things begins to change. So your attitude changes when your mind changes. And sometimes they got to work hand in hand. They got to go together. Like they in love with each other. Your attitude and your mind have got to go together. So when your attitude changes, this is how your conversation will change when your attitude changes. People will tell you, and or you will see your situation in a certain way. And the old JoJo used to think, oh, there's no way out of this. I can't possibly do this. No. But the JoJo who's had a transformation with her mind and her attitude is now going to say, let me look at the best possible answer in this situation. Let me work the best possible thing right here. And when you change your mind and your attitude about something, your words begin to follow. You find more words or different words to articulate and or describe your situation. So that's not sitting in the negative, it sits in the positive. So transformation, 3 things. You got to transform your mind and your attitude about things. Okay. When those two got to go together, they got to hold hands. When those two work together, then the third one, which is your mouth, will follow. The transformation of your mouth is an amazing thing. You will find that you will not have the same conversations that you used to have with people. You will not have the same thought processes, of course, but what falls out of your mouth will sound totally different than what used to fall out your mouth. Before you could have that conversation, girl, yeah, I ain't got no money either. I'm broke too. Oh man, I don't understand why this is always happening to me. Why I can't have a friend here. Why I can't do this. And the minute you have a transformation of in your mouth, your mind, your attitude and your mouth will follow. People are gonna say, but JoJo, what you talking about? You always say this. You always do this thing. You have always. But now you have different words. And that's why if you guys been with me for a while, when I talk about the transformation, you got to sit in it, you got to wallow in it for a while. That's what I mean. That you got to learn to articulate it so well with yourself that when you finally step outside and because people start to see the transformation, but when you begin to answer the questions of it, they're not going to run over you and convince you that what you're saying and or doing is completely crazy and wrong. Because now you can articulate it with yourself. You're confident in it. You know it like the back of your hand. You know that the words that are coming out of your mouth are not the same, and they won't be. But the transformation has got to take place first. Just like the butterfly and the cocoon. But what's the real word for that? It's not called a cocoon. Rosie told it to me and I forgot. It'll come to me. But just like the butterfly has got to go on the inside to do some changes, you've got to do the same thing. And that transformation is in your mindset, it is in your attitude, and it is the words that fall out of your mouth. If the words that are falling out of your mouth are not aligning with your dreams, again, that's your value system. If they're not aligning up, the words are not going to match. And that's why you can, that's you can say, girl, I'm fixing to do this. I'm about to go do this, and then you never do it. Because your words are not lining up with your dreams, which is your value system. Because once your value system and your dreams align, an amazing thing happens. Your words begin to change. I don't say the same words I used to. Period. And once you understand that your words are life, right? And you have the life and death lies in the power of the tongue. Once you understand some basic things, then your journey becomes a lot easier. So the transformation that is needed. Good morning, Courtney. That's my baby's name. Good morning. So we have to know that the transformation has to take place in 3 places. Got to take place in your mind, your attitude, and your mouth. Because our mouth can get us in trouble. Which brings me back to the quote, and I'm gonna share this with y'all so y'all can read it. So maybe because I'm so excited about it, and I don't understand why everybody not as excited as I am. Maybe you need to see it in words so it makes sense. But faith and fear, they are both what you cannot see, but you believe is going to happen. Faith, and fear, both are what you cannot see, but you believe is going to happen. You have faith, you can't see it, but you believe it's going to happen. You have fear, you can't see it, but you believe it's going to happen. And that is by Jonathan Green. When I heard that on Wednesday, changed my whole life. He articulated it so well. And when we allow our faith of what we cannot see, but know it's going to happen to lead, then the transformation of our mind, our attitude, and our mouth becomes so much easier. It becomes simpler because we know that there's an end result, that there's a journey, that we are going towards a thing. But the transformation got to take place first. And you can't have it both ways. You can't have abundance and practice lack. JoJo. Yeah, when I tell you I got my whole life on Friday show, I got my whole life on Friday show. So on this wonderful day, the Phyllis quote of the day, quotes never work unless you work them. And that is by me, JoJo. And that is very true. I can give you, and the purpose of the Fearless Morning Show, for those who are just joining, is to not only help my sisters and my brothers. I don't want you to live in crazy and chaos or struggle with a mindset that I have had that has hindered me. And it is my hope and my desire that I share something that makes you go, remember Arsenio Hall? That makes you think just for a second, maybe I can think a different thought. Maybe I can do this thing. So you don't have to continue down this journey. I don't want you to go down the journey that I went on. I don't want you to, I don't want that for my sister. And so I can tell you all the wonderful things in the world. You can be as motivated as you want and as inspired as you want, but sister, if you're not committed, it ain't gonna work. That's why quotes never work unless you work. That's why prayer don't seem to be answered, because you ain't doing the work of the answer. Because the prayer was, Lord, increase. Well, in order to increase, you got to work something. Lord, I want to be fruitful and multiply. It is in the multiplication part. That's the work part. Because when you say, Lord, multiply this, but you put 0 with it, anytime you multiply 0 times anything, you're going to get what? 0. So it is in the working of the thing that we get tripped up, stopped up. We can't figure it out. We angry, we mad, we sad, we frustrated. We got to do the work. So quotes are never going to work unless you work them. Somebody can preach the paint off the walls. Not going to work unless you implement what you said, what they said. Don't be an information hoarder. Don't be some of us are professional goer places. We go to places to hear a word. We go here to get this. We go here and do that, but we have no intention of implementing any of it. So quotes are never going to work unless you work them. Transformation has got to take place. A revolution, we talked about that last week. Revolution has got to take place on the inside first, period. The transformation got to take place in 3 places: your mind, your attitude, and your mouth. Because when your values align with your dreams, then you have the outcomes that you desire. You can't say you want this thing, JoJo. You can't have it both ways. I want to be fruitful. I want to multiply. I want abundance. And I practice lack. Can't say I want abundance and I practice lack. And you can't have it. They can't go together. They are two opposite ends of the stick. Two opposite ends. So your mind, your attitude, and your mouth have got to be in line with your value system and your dreams. That's why you can say, the Lord ain't finished with me yet, and open up your mouth, and we never knew that you even knew the Lord to begin with. Transformation got to take place in your mind, your attitude, and your mouth on this wonderful day. It's not going to work unless you're dedicated to the work, unless you are committed to it. If this is the desired outcome that you want, then things happen differently. I promise that's how it's going to work. And you can't have it both ways. We just can't. We can't have abundance and practice lack. Y'all, if y'all missed Friday's show, please go back and watch it, honey. The Lord broke all of my toenails, my ankle bone, my elbow. Like, he set me down all before 7:20 a.m. on Friday morning. And I'm not ashamed to share my journey, because I don't want you to get tripped up in what I got tripped up on. Because when he said, Jojo, you can't have it both ways, or you want the Fearless Morning Show to go here. Oh, okay. Well, it's going to require some things. And in the requiring of the things, I said, oh, but I don't want it to require that. See, I was putting stipulations on it. Transformation got to take place in three places, boo. Your mind, your attitude, and your mouth. And it's never going to work unless you work them. Period. That's why we can lay it at the altar and pick it back up all before we leave the church. That's why you can be deep fried in holy oil, honey. They can put the purple cloth on you, the white one. They can put the red one on you if you want to. You can take all the communion in the world. They can lay, I had people lay hands on my bald head, honey. Fall out in the spirit, talking in tongues, all the things. But until there's a transformation, a revolution on the inside with my mind, my attitude, and my mouth, until I'm committed to that thing, until I insist on not picking it back up and be committed to what's coming on this end, trouble will last always. It ain't going nowhere, because I'm bringing it with me every day. I'm making sure it has arrived with me. So we can't have abundance and practice lack. Period. Faith and fear, both are what you cannot see, but you believe is going to happen. Faith is what you can't see, but you believe is going to happen. Fear is what you can't see, but you believe is going to happen. So on this lovely day, and it's going to be an amazing day, what are we doing with our faith and our fear? What are we going to do with that? Nothing will divert me from my purpose, and that is from Abraham Lincoln. It doesn't matter what comes, boo, the end result is what I'm working for. But I know I've got to align my attitude, my mouth, and my mind in order for that to happen. Because your dreams and your value system have to align. If your dreams do not align with your value system, it won't happen, and that disbelief gap gets bigger. So if my dream is to be a millionaire, and I will be the first one in my family, my dream is to be a millionaire. Don't be afraid of the word abundance. It's used quite often in the Bible, everywhere. If I'm going to be the first millionaire in my family, if I'm going to establish this thing, then my value system has to say, Jojo, pay attention to your finances so that you can be this. What do you, y'all got to watch Friday's show. Because I was mad at the Lord. I was like, oh, Lord, I want this and this. He said, but I gave you 16 years to prepare. And now you want to rush me today because now you ready? Ooh, I've been ready. I've been allowing you space to prepare for this many years. Don't be rushing me. Your dreams and your value system must align, but first the transformation has got to take place, and that is in your mind, your attitude, and your mouth. So on this lovely day, I want you to have an amazing day. Please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, send them over to the YouTube channel. They can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. We have 400. I got to load some, because I stopped at 430, 440, and we have way more than that. So I will load them over there. And if they don't do Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, we do have a podcast. It's the Live Past Crazy Show. If they don't do any of that, we have 5 books. Fearless Woman, Born to Give Thanks. Transition. I forget I'm on the opposite here. Transition to freedom. God says I'm battle scar free, fortitude, and mental health. So I would love for you guys to at least read a book. Please make sure you share the show. Don't forget the Sister Rise Retreat is coming up October 16th through the 18th. And it will be in Hilton Head, South Carolina. It is not your normal retreat, okay? I want you to come with an open mind. We're not putting God in a box at this retreat. He is outside of the box. We'll be using holistic tools to begin our journey. That means we will be doing energy work. We will be doing some self-care work for real, because we ain't playing out here in these streets. Because so when somebody who is a proficient negative person, because you can't argue with a proficient negative person because they are professionals at that thing. They've been professional negative people their whole life, 60, 70 years. You're not fixing to change their mind. So if you had a revolution in your own mind and you had a transformation, I need you to be able to sit with what you know for a minute before you go fight somebody who is proficient at being negative, who is a professional at telling you what you can and cannot do, who sees no good in the world, who only see negative, who only see lack, and they probably pray every day and don't believe now thing that they say. So before you go meet that person, we want to make sure that you understand all your tools that you have in your hand. So I want you to be peaceful, period, because there's nothing after that. Please make sure you share the show. Y'all, the goal is to get more viewers on the show so that we can share this with our sisters and brothers, and I absolutely cannot do that without you. So if you share the show, please let me know so I can tell you thank you. And if you missed Friday's show, I'm gonna say it again. Friday was really, go back and watch Friday's show. If you're on my page, it's just a few clicks down to watch Friday's show and tell me what you think, and then share it. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I will see you here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.
Thank you again for listening to the Live Past Crazy Show with Yanmitra Jojo. She is the only Live Past Crazy specialist, and she is glad you spent your time with her. If you would like to know more about why she knows crazy and about her journey, she invites you to check out her website, www.livepastcrazy.com, as well as follow her on social media. Yanmitra is her tag for IG, Twitter, and Facebook, JANMETRA. She also invites you to join her on the Fearless Morning Show, weekdays at 7:15 a.m. on Facebook Live. Again, you can find us on Facebook with the Fearless Morning Show page or by name. Remember, as a result of working with the only Live Past Crazy specialists, individuals are able to identify the crazy in their lives and develop a specific blueprint to begin to live past crazy. Do you know anybody who needs to live past crazy? Then send them over her way, because there is life after crazy. Be peaceful, period. And Yanmitra will see you guys on the next show.